Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day wherever you are around the world. How are we, Reds? 24 hours on from the Reds winning the Premier League title, of course, 20 times league champions, of course. How good does it feel? And it feels absolutely amazing. How are we, chat? Hopefully, all of you are good. Hopefully, all of you are well. Welcome as well to the new people to the channel, of course, as well. I will get onto that a bit later on. Of course, anyway, and yes, do let me know how all of you are, of course, in the comment section down below, of course. And of course, we'll talk about many things. We'll talk about, of course, yesterday. We'll talk about, my thoughts more, of course, your guys' thoughts as well. I want to, shout out a few particular players, of course, as well. And again, let me know your guys' thoughts down below as well. But again, of course, let me know your guys' thoughts down below. But champions, championes, ole from Ozan, hopefully doing well. Big up Doug as well, saying evening Connor. Doug saying Carlo Ancelotti to Brazil confirmed. Does this affect Trent's move to Madrid? Probably not, I would say. I think, look, I think it'll come out in the next couple of days, maybe. We'll know more about Trent, about whether or not he's going to move. Of course, it will be very, very interesting to see anyway, but it does depend, of course, as well. Yes, congrats on passing 2K. Thank you very much. Of course, we will talk about that a bit later on because, yeah, that video completely went boom, didn't it? But Con, don't worry, I just have a backup Twitter account, but it's still me as well. That's good to hear anyway. But good to have two in case one gets hacked or something. Yeah, that's very true. To be fair, Tally all being champions, Jota and Diaz, our Cunha and I think you mean Jota and Diaz out, Cunha and I can't barely speak. Victor Kirkes, Gyökeres in anyway, but Matthias Cunha is going to Manchester United. I don't know if you've seen Gary, but yeah, he's off to Manchester United. Which, look, fair play to him because I don't want Matthias Cunha just down to attitude. His attitude absolutely stinks. Anyway, but just again moving away from that slightly. Of course, moving. Of course, we will talk obviously, like I said, about yesterday, and of course the emotion. Because again, if anyone was in Liverpool, of course, obviously the celebrations were unbelievable. I think they were going on well into the night. We're talking like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. The celebrations were going on for. But as Doug mentioned earlier on, yes, we have passed 2,000 subscribers. Thank you very much for that. Of course, we are. Of course, that was the aim for the end of the season, was to get to 2,000. Again, I'm most likely going to say that I think we would have got there. But of course, it was massively helped by the Arna Slot short that we put out yesterday. That is currently, I think, nearly 500,000 views. And I think, of course, new people came into the channel, of course, and a few other people also come in as well from watching, of course, obviously the champion show as well. So again, there are a few new people in here, of course. So if you are new, of course, please, obviously, welcome to the channel. And yeah, of course, don't be afraid to comment and so on as well. But look, again, very much happy, and then obviously looking forward to 3K hopefully as well, as growing the channel out as well anyway. But again, let me know who all of you are in the comments. But yeah, once again, thank you very much for, of course, all of the new subscribers. But according to the professional lip reader, Trent is still having decision. Still hasn't made a decision yet based on his convo with John Henry as well. I've seen this, and it's like, I can't remember who ran the story. Was it the Mail? I think reported on it. Look, I think he's already made up his mind. Maybe, of course, obviously Mo Salah resigning and obviously Virgil van Dijk resigning could possibly have swayed his decision now, in terms of his thought process. But look, I think everybody hopes Trent stays. I 100% want Trent to stay. But it's also that sense of, I still think he's off to Madrid, especially because, Doug mentioned it in terms of Carlo Ancelotti leaving. I think it's obvious who they're going to try and go and get, in terms of Xabi Alonso. which again, I think Trent has spoken highly, hasn't he, on Xavi Alonso, being one of his idols, and rightfully so. And look, if he can play at Real Madrid, with the players, like I say, in terms of, in his opinion, if he thinks Liverpool is not the right option, then look, I'm okay with Trent leaving. Anyway, but a title win again, Con. Fergie must have, yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to read the rest, Gary. But yeah, absolutely. Anyway, but yeah, again, of course, back onto the more important thing, and that was yesterday. Of course, winning the league in style, wasn't it? Really, and look, for me, Liverpool are massively, deserving of the league title. We've been brilliant this season, absolutely. And of course, I've seen a few people today now going, "Oh, don't really care now for the rest of the season. Liverpool are confirmed champions," and that's absolutely spot on. Look, Liverpool are league champions. I don't really care now if we're champions by 80 odd points or 90 odd points. But in also saying that, I would very much like us to get over the 90-point mark, really, and really cement ourselves, really, because I think everybody's gone, or certain people have gone, "Oh, well, Liverpool are not really champions-esque in terms of, they've been lucky by other teams." No, Liverpool have not. Liverpool have been the most consistent team in the league this season and have been the best team in the league. And of course, with everything that's come out in terms of, all the reports after the game, you've got like Lewis Steele, you've got Paul Joyce, you've got Chris Bascom as well, all shouting and really suggesting the Liverpool mean business now this summer, especially when we talk about, transfers and so on. When we talk about adding to this team, it very much feels like that there is no real excuses coming. When we talk about, and when I talk about that, I mean in terms of like whoever Liverpool think are the people Liverpool are going all out for. And it also feels like they've had encouragement as well. And why wouldn't they? Look, Liverpool are Premier League champions. At the end of the day, Liverpool have been the best team in England this season. And look, I am very much looking forward to the Guards of Honour from Chelsea and Arsenal. Especially Arsenal, because again, all the crap that's happened this season, with their supporters, and and especially the club itself as well, in terms of Arteta pretty much coming out and saying, "Oh, I'm going to die before this title, before this title's over." And at the end of the day, he gave up. He very much gave up very early upon it, of course, and we 100% deserve this title. Absolutely. And look, hopefully next season 21 will be the aim anyway, but 20 times, yes, absolutely, 100%, Gary. I've rewatched the game about 7 times. It's on constant replay on my TV as well, to be fair as well. But Macca's goal was the goal of the season for me. Left foot bullet as well. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I'm glad, to be fair, well, actually, I am really, really glad you mentioned Macca, Ozan, because for me yesterday, this man was unbelievable. He was everywhere in that game against Spurs yesterday. And I think now people are truly starting to recognise how good Alexis McAllister is. I think once we bought him from Brighton, of course, World Cup winner, again, there are a couple of midfielders or a couple of players in the past that have gone, "Oh, they're a World Cup winner, they've got to be good." But he is truly the real deal. There's a reason why Messi loves Alexis McAllister, and it's because he's so good. Like, he can play as a 6, he can play as an 8, can play as a 10. For me, he's one of the best midfielders in the world. I think he's top 3 in my opinion. I think, if we're taking bias away from it, I do think Pedri is the best midfielder in the world right now. I do think he is the best central midfielder in world football. But I think Alexis McAllister gets in every single team. Like, genuinely, I think if you're looking at all throughout Europe, and I'm going, yep, he 100% gets in the team. There's no questions asked, really. And I love that. I love the fact we've got one of the best players in Europe in our team. And he's in our midfield. And look, many people have very much not mentioned him this season. And I think, obviously, yes, after yesterday, a lot of people mentioned him in terms of, if Mo Salah wasn't around, if Mo Salah didn't have the season upon seasons that he has had, people will now recognise that Alexis McAllister would be in the conversation for the Player of the Year awards. And I absolutely agree with it, because he has been so good for Liverpool. He's Mr. Consistent all the time. Again, you barely get like a drop in form from him. Absolutely not. And for me, he's one of the pinnacle players in terms of where Liverpool build and where Liverpool extend their gap will be through Alexis McAllister. In my personal opinion, I think Liverpool, you build the team around certain individual players. Maka is one. That midfield is one, to be fair. Ryan Gravenberch again yesterday, back to his best against Tottenham. I also believe, again, Dom Szoboszlai, since that, that turn of the year, I think he's been excellent for Liverpool. And I think when you take him out the squad or take him out the team, I think it's recognizable, him without, but not in that midfield, really. And I do think Liverpool, we don't need major surgery. Don't get us wrong, we've just won a league title, but I think if you add quality in certain areas, of course, left back is an area that's well known Liverpool are going to try and upgrade on. And of course, striker. I think Liverpool need to go and get a striker that they believe in will be the guy for Liverpool for the next couple of years. Of course, the dream is Alexander Isak, but is that possible? Again, I don't think it is, unless there's something there, that we don't know about yet. But I'm very confident in the club to get it right. I'm very confident in Arne Slot to get it right, because, again, it's quite funny now seeing all of the tweets, all of the compilations about him, about Arne Slot, and people saying like he's not going to succeed, he's not going to do this. If you actually go on, I think it's Paul Joyce's announcement that Liverpool were finalizing a deal to get Arne Slot. Again, the comments are hilarious, because you look through them and you look all throughout them and you just laugh, really. Unless you're a Liverpool supporter, every single rival fan was saying, nah, Liverpool done for. Liverpool not going to win the league. Liverpool are going to go back to the Hodgson years in terms of, not succeeding and this, that, and the other. Well, first year of Arne Slot, he's gone on and won the league title. And that, I absolutely love it. Again, nobody predicted Liverpool to win the league. Nobody did. But again, the most optimistic Liverpool supporter didn't have Liverpool winning the league, really. But what he has done this season, what Arne Slot has really done, that I think, again, he hasn't really been credited upon this season, is the fact that he's excelled certain individual players. Now we're talking we're talking Mo Salah, we're talking Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister. I even think Virgil van Dijk, he's brought an extra element to Van Dijk's game, really. And again, you get Cody Gakpo as well, is also another another player that is a good indication in the progression side of things. And I think, of course, there's other players that you look at it and go, oh, maybe he hasn't done so much with. Again, obviously Darwin Núñez is the one, but I also think that's a Darwin Núñez thing more than an Arne Slot thing. But he has genuinely pushed this squad for the better, really, because when Jurgen Klopp did leave, when we were all talking about it this time last year, I think everyone was like, it's probably going to be a rebuild year this year, and we'll go again, maybe of course next season. But now you look at it, and of course the midfield is sorted. Of course, you add upon it, I think Liverpool do need an extra central midfielder. But I also look at it and go, it's not a necessity. For example, of course, I'd much rather get us our left back and get our striker in first, and then look for a midfielder to then upgrade upon and upgrade the squad. Because look, this squad is good enough in certain areas, but other areas it needs an upgrade in. Of course it does, to progress and to get better. And when we go more into the slot, evolution of this Liverpool squad, again, it can only get better. If it's already this good in terms of, again, the points and going on to win league titles, again, if it can get better, if it could be an evolution of getting the team better, again, Liverpool will be up there once again next year, 100%. But Gary saying 20 times next season slot must stop. Zonal marking. One thinks Nunes might stay. Jota is finished. Not a chance, Gary. Unfortunately, Darwin Nunes is done at Liverpool. Of course, like it's great. Everyone's won a league title, and of course Darwin's a part of that. But I wouldn't be too surprised if Liverpool got rid of Darwin and Jota to the Saudis. I think Liverpool have a question really whether or not they get rid of Lucho or whether or not Lucho will leave and Darwin, and then we keep Diogo Jota, or Jota and Darwin's going to go and we'll keep Lucho for another year. I think it's probably more the latter, because you look at the left wingers in football, it's not really great, is it? Let's be honest. I think Liverpool would much prefer to do that, because I think Liverpool as well could look to bring somebody in. Okay, well, we could really look to bring 2 forwards in really in the summer as well. But yeah, for only 35 million, what a bargain from Brighton. Yeah, Maka absolutely is a bargain. He's an unbelievable bargain. And that's the thing really. Maka. The funniest thing, right, is Maka is one of these players that can beat everyone. Like, and don't get it twisted, Maka is definitely the type of person that will, again, win you games all by himself, really. But I think for me, I would consider Maka as one of the best midfielders in Europe. Absolutely, I would. But yeah, of course, looking at it, I think there are plenty of plenty of players in the Liverpool team that could excel even more, really, of course, as well. But Geordie as well, how are we, guys? As well as saying, how are the lads as well? Congrats, mate, as well. Look, I think we're all very much excited, aren't we? Geordie, if you'd like to sell Alexander Isak for a bargain price, can absolutely take it in the summer. Were they not the best celebrations we've ever seen inside Anfield? It was incredible. It took me hours to watch it. We must never step off that perch again. No, absolutely agree with you, Scouser. And that's the thing. Like we now are at the top. We're at the top of the mountain, and that's the thing where we've seen teams in the past. Like on a Liverpool side of things, we've watched Manchester United teams, we've watched Man City, we've watched Chelsea in the past, 20 plus years, win things. And again, they've had spells. Look, Liverpool have had spells, of course. We've had spells, over the last couple of years where, you look at 18-19, we should have won the league. And, of course, any other season we go on to win the league. 19-20, we end up getting 99 points, should have realistically got over 100 points. That year, really. But I think, again, with COVID and I think with everything else, I think, look, the team was just like, get the job done, we'll get out of here, really. And then 21-22, you look at that again, where we were going after everything. We're going after, the quadruple, and it didn't quite happen. And I think it's something that I think you look at it and go, we had spells in the Jurgen Klopp era that, again, maybe if one thing had happened, then again we would have won a lot more. But I think now under the Arne Slot era, I think there are Liverpool. If Liverpool get it right this summer, I think Liverpool could win a back-to-back league title. I do, and I think Liverpool could dominate for a while. City need to rebuild. Arsenal, of course, will be there again next season. Of course, they'll add upon it with their squad. But there are certain, Arsenal are edging their period, really. Of course, normally you have a 4-year period of, like I say, a team where you build it up, you have your peak, and then you fall off. Liverpool have kind of had that over the years where, we've had our peak in certain areas. We had the drop off in the season where we didn't get Champions League football. Again, and we rebuilt, and, that now we've gone on won a league title. City have done that this season, where they've been so consistent over the years. Again, they've had a drop off. They'll rebuild next season and go again. Arsenal are in that period. What is it? This is the 3rd year of Arsenal. Really, they might have one more year at their peak, but then they'll fall off. maybe it might be next season or the season after, where they might end up falling off completely and getting Europa League or whatever. But again, that's not Liverpool's fault. They end up doing that neither. Which again, I think some people, well, if you ask certain individuals like Arsenal fans, of course, it ends up going on to be like, oh no, we deserve this, we deserve that. Like, no, piss off, mate. Anyway, which like I do find very, 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 very funny. Anyway, but Geordie says, congrats, mate, as well. Obviously, big up Geordie as well. I'd sell Lucho, Jota, and Chiesa. Use that money for Isaac. Again, would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Thanks for silencing the noise, United, who were bragging about 20 times all these years. Oh, mate, we absolutely love to do that as well, and long may that continue as well. To be fair, anyway. But look, the best thing about the whole thing is, like you say, 20 times Liverpool, 20 times league champions. How long has it been? I think back in 1990, I don't think anyone had thought that again Liverpool would have not won a league title in 30 odd years, and then we end up winning in COVID and not really being able to celebrate it, and now we get to celebrate it properly as well, which is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, of course. Anyway, but Konya, quick thoughts on Kirk, as he seems keen to join. I think he will join. I think, of course, there's conversation that Liverpool are a bit meh on price. I look at it and go, look, you have to go and get, you have to go and get the best that's out there, really. But I like Slot's way of looking at it 2 and 5. Yeah, it is, absolutely. It's 2 and 5 years. And to think in those 5 years, Liverpool have fell off completely. Liverpool have dropped off and rebuilt in those 5 years. And like that's what I'm talking about, though. This is Liverpool. Liverpool will have a 4-year peak now. Even though, again, look, Liverpool will lose players in that time. Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah, they could potentially leave in 2 years' time, obviously. But for next season, you've got Virgil van Dijk, you've got Mo Salah. You're then building, more players up on top of that. Mind, Liverpool are looking for world-class quality, and I think Liverpool will absolutely get world-class quality for it as well. But look, we 100% will, will 100% be there. And look, I hope next season, we go again, and absolutely take 21 by storm as well. That's what I hope for, and that will be the dream as well, as to win 21. And hopefully, that will be the case anyway. But look, I am going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Apologies, it is a short show. Again, but I have to go and do something very quickly. As I've just remembered, I have to go and do it. But again, like you said, tomorrow episode will be a transfer show. Of course, there are a few things that have come out today about certain things, of course. But yeah, it'll probably be a transfer show tomorrow for you guys anyway. Maybe a bit earlier as well tomorrow anyway. But look, again, enjoy being champions, Reds, of course, because look, 100%, Liverpool deserve it. But also the fact that Liverpool, again, we've not even received the trophy yet neither. And the fact, we've got that to come as well, to be fair. So look, enjoy it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the show anyway. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode. Anyway, but like I said, enjoy the next couple of days anyway. And of course, next weekend is bank holiday weekend again, so plenty of time to celebrate Liverpool being league champions again anyway. But I pressed that prematurely. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cock Council. I'll see you guys later on. Ta-ra.